Due to the potentially dark and frightening content of our investigations, this episode may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ghosts, spirits, demons. What are these entities? What do they want? And why are they here? My paranormal investigation crew's goal is to answer these questions and others like them.
How long have you been here?
Questions we've been asking for centuries.
Why are you here?
We've assembled a crew of the most dedicated enthusiasts in the area to capture evidence of these entities. What we find might be disturbing, dangerous even, but we are prepared for the journey ahead of us. The question is, are you prepared to take this journey with us? It's midnight. Follow me into the darkness, guided only by Midnight's Light. This is Midnight's Light Paranormal. Since the city was surveyed in 1796, Dayton, Ohio has always been a city with European cultural influence. Especially after the turn of the century, as more Eastern European immigrants began to settle there. This tightly knit immigrant community took roots in what is now known as Old North Dayton. Considered to be a focal point of the community was Sig's General Store. Zygmunt Czapolski, a Polish immigrant, built the general store around 1910, and it soon became a local hangout. The Czapolskis also ran a deli out of the building, and even had a small social club on the second floor. Zygmunt and his large family resided in the back of the building, as well as on the third floor, which is now the attic. He and his wife, Emma, had 5 daughters and 1 son. One of those daughters, Genevieve, or Chicky, is thought to be the most active spiritual presence in the building today. The general store remained open until the 1980s and saw new life as a European restaurant opened by Eleanor Slouzis in 1990. Eleanor ran the restaurant until her retirement in 1998, when it was acquired by the current owner, Joe Castellano. We met up with Joe to learn a little more about the building.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of this building?
Sure. So the building, as I understand it, was built around 1906, 1910 area. It was Sig's General Store is what they called it. And you could buy anything, from flour to nails to petty candy here in the general store. We've got a few pieces from the general store. This counter is in a photo back there dated 1910, and so is the scale. It's got his name, Zygmunt Czapolski. I think I'm saying that correctly, hence Sig's General Store. So the way I understand it, the family lived in the back and in what is now the attic part of the restaurant. And then the second floor where we have our banquet area was kind of like a social club. Eleanor acquired it late 80s. They were doing renovations set to open in, I think, the fall of 89, and they had a fire in the attic in the back of the building. And then the opening was delayed until 1990. This experienced a remodel in 96. We used to have a staircase that came up when you came in those front doors. The staircase went up to the second floor. In the basement, originally, I think there was a bowling lane down there.
Really?
Yeah, years when they built it. You can see some painting, old faded paint, and still a couple parts of it are still dirt floors.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, never been finished. So.
Earlier in the day, our psychic medium Steve conducted a reading of the building. He started off in the main dining room.
There's a lot of residual energy here. This is a public place, a lot of people in and out, and also something else, those transient spirits that comes in with people. There's been a lot of those in and out of here. Some choose to linger, some leave with their person. There's 2 names that I got right off the bat when I first came in here was Allison and Frank. And I believe that this guy is attached to someone who works here. I believe that he died in the 70s or the 80s. He's a big personality. One of those guys that would see you and come up and pat you on the back and, hey, how you doing? Something like that. Then there's another, and this individual, she was a female, a girl, brown hair, ponytail. She died in an automobile accident, and I believe it was on the interstate. I get that feeling. She was here a lot during her life for some reason, and she still visits, okay? There's a man, an older man, and this is big energy, okay? He was here a lot. Very neat and very tidy. Particular, hard worker, worked long hours, a lot of times by himself here. He had an issue with bags of flour. Like when you get bags of flour in, they're messy because flour is coming out of these bags of flour. And that used to irritate him so bad, he'd always have to clean up around these bags of flour. Okay, now I don't know what this means. This is a word, and I don't know what it is. Hopefully we can figure this out, but it's pisach or pisach. And I keep hearing it over and over and over again, and I don't know what that is.
Could this be in reference to the fact that Steve writes notes during his readings?
So there was a woman, this is also big energy, and I don't know who this woman is or how she's associated with this building, but she wanted to be buried in her wedding dress. I don't know if she actually was buried in her wedding dress, but she wanted to be. I sure hope that someone who watches this knows this story, because I want to know the story behind this. I want to know who this was. This must be really important, okay? Before the interstate, this must have been a long time ago, there was a woods and a meadow and a small little trickling kind of creek that was fed by a natural spring. But there used to be a hill back there. I think it was on the other side of the creek. 2 girls played in this woods and played back here. I got some other names. Carol, I think Sid, and Kevin.
Sid? Could Steve be picking up on the previous owner, Sig? Steve then decides to move upstairs, but gets confused about the location of the staircase.
Devin just asked me why I thought the upstairs was that way. And I feel like there used to be another way to get upstairs that way.
We used to have a staircase that came up when you came in those front doors. The staircase went up to the 2nd floor.
The only reason Devin knew about the staircase at this time was due to a comment Joe made to him personally before Steve was even in the building.
There's a girl. Yep. Okay, there's definitely a girl here. She's, I think, a little girl. Nope, she says she's old. I don't know what that means. Definitely in my mind, she's a little girl. And that's how she's presenting herself to me in the spirit world, I guess. But she says she's old. So I don't know if that means that she was old when she died and she came back as a little girl. But she's an active spirit here. I mean, it's really, she's actually here. She wants me to play hide and go seek. But I want to talk to her. I will. Okay, I will. We will play with her. Her name, is it Jenny? I think her name's Jenny.
Could Steve be communicating with Chicky? After all, Jenny could be short for Genevieve.
I don't know why, but can we go to the attic? It's like she wants us to go up to the attic. Okay, this is different than it was when she's showing me. Okay, why she wanted me to come up here is she says that she plays up here. She has dolls and she has stuff. And I'm just telling you right now, this is completely different than what I see in my head. This is not how it was. She wanted me to go upstairs because she wanted to play with us upstairs because that's where she plays, she said. She has dolls and there's 10 toys, but that's where she plays. She's telling me something about her sister. She said that they slept in the same bed. I don't know if that means all the time or one time, but they slept in the same bed, and she had, or one of them, maybe both of them, had to wear socks. This is funny, because the other one's feet were cold or she had sharp toenails. I think that's so funny. But she says to tell her sister hello, so I don't know if that means her sister is still alive or not. I think people lived here.
Family lived in the back and in what is now the attic part of the restaurant.
Later on, we asked Joe about his paranormal experiences in the building.
My general manager's husband was here. He stopped by after work. We were having a drink at that little round table at the end of the bar. I saw someone peek their head around the corner down at the bottom of the stairs. And I looked at Randy and I looked back and he was gone. I said, "Did you see that?" He goes, "Yeah, someone was right there." And I got up and went. I thought maybe the side door was unlocked and it was locked. There was no one else in the building. That back bathroom used to have, when the light came on, it still does, the bathroom fan comes on. It was old and it made a lot of noise. And so I left the office, went downstairs, I forgot my coat, went back up, got to the top of the stairs, and that light was on and that fan was running, and it wasn't 15 seconds ago. Wow. So I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. So I just cut it off and left.
Yeah. I told you downstairs, I guarantee you that Chicky or Jenny, as I thought, came through to me, definitely where you're getting most of your paranormal activity.
Yeah.
And she's very playful.
And that's the thing. I've never been scared here. Does that make sense? I've never felt fearful of anything. Mm-hmm. One time we were downstairs at the bar telling stories about Chicky and the TV just cut off. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, but but enough of those things happen, and is it coincidence? I don't know.
Well, it sounds like they have a lot of substance and energy because like they're actually manifesting as like apparitions that are being viewed by these people, which is hard to do. And
you'll see some photos. I mean, people have gotten photos and even some audio recordings.
Yeah.
So.
One of the reasons that Chicky is believed to be one of the primary spirits in the building is because of her sister Rose. Rose thought that it was Chicky because she loved her father's store and spent most of her time in the attic. We wanted to sit down with some of the restaurant's most tenured employees to find out about some of their paranormal experiences.
How long have you been here, working here?
About 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm. I've worked here for almost 20 years.
23 years.
What kind of things have you experienced here?
Well, a lot of it is lights and sound.
Gradually, after working here, you notice stuff.
Yeah.
Well, my first experience, we were upstairs. It was me and one other coworker, and we were up there for about 3 hours because we were doing laundry and stuff, just getting a party set up. And the music was acting funny that day already. It would just get like really loud, really quiet, and like do all this weird stuff. Well, then towards the very end, it was coming from one room specifically, that back tulip room in the back upstairs.
Okay.
It was coming from just that room, and it was like music we don't even really play. Like it was kind of old-timey.
Yeah.
And it was blasting, so naturally I was like, well, let's just go see.
And so, go check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I walked in there, and the second my foot like stepped on the into that room, it just dead silent stopped.
Really?
Yeah.
I was working behind the bar, and I was clear at the end talking to some customers, and a glass fell off the bar, but it didn't. People would say, oh, it's an old building, it vibrated, it just fell. No, it shot across the walkway and hit the granite bar and shattered.
Wow. That's a leap.
It didn't just fall down and break.
Yeah,
it was thrown.
I had an incident in the basement. We had done like a ghost hunt thing, and I was down there cleaning stuff up, and I was cleaning, and then I could feel somebody like watching me. So I turned around to tell him like, oh, I got it, don't worry. And there was no one there. But then like the further back in the basement that I just got like this overwhelming feeling to just get out.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
Then it got to the point that it was almost like someone saying, get out.
Yeah.
So I turned to leave, and I felt like this big whoosh like of air just pushed me out of that area.
Wow.
So I took off running, and I was like, nope, never again. I'm good.
Understandably so.
I'm not going in that area.
Yeah.
Whatever's in the basement's like, get the hell out of my area.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you here.
Yeah. Have you ever seen other things move here? Is that like a common occurrence here?
Actually, I haven't, but others have. Sarah was upstairs in the hallway talking to a manager in the office, so they're just about 5 feet away. But there's a small restroom in front of her, and they're talking, and then the lid to the trash can came out of the restroom, I'd say maybe 10 feet, and landed at her feet.
Wow.
And she looked at the manager and was like, I'm out of here, bye.
A lot of stuff has happened like around that bar area.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what or why. Like the light, that's moved multiple times, like just started swinging. That's turned on randomly, like, and not fully, but it'll start like
just slowly
turning around in a circle. The lights have just turned on and off by themselves.
Have you experienced any other things in the building since you've been here?
Shadows. The basement creeps me out.
So
I
do you
see
think that's
shadows
the
in the
place
basement.
that you would consider
That's
like the most active?
where my goosebumps show up mostly, is in the basement.
So a lot of the stuff that has happened to you has been in the basement.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've heard that from a few other people, so it seems like that's...
The basement's kind of creepy.
Okay.
It's creepy anyway, because it's a basement, and it's old, but then you throw ghosts into it.
And it's a whole different thing, yeah.
Right.
I think the scariest one was when I was sitting there with a coworker. We were just talking, and I felt something grab my back. But then 2 seconds later, the door slammed shut fully, because sometimes it doesn't always fall into place.
Yeah.
It did that like right after, and then 2 seconds after that, something grabbed my coworker's the back of her neck. And so then we looked at my back real quick, because I was like, my back's like kind of on fire, like it's like burning. And there was a scratch going across my back.
Wow, I know that sensation.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, you know, who all is here. And I'm assuming because it's an old building, and there's probably a lot of people since it's a restaurant, so a lot of people come in and out.
Right.
So, and with those people comes their energy, and then comes the energy of sometimes people have spirits attached to them, and so they bring those through, and because of all that energy, it draws in transients who are just kind of passing through.
Right.
My favorite story. Can I tell my favorite story?
Oh, of course, I'd love to hear.
So it's a Monday when we're normally closed, and one of the cooks was here preparing for the next day. So he didn't have all the lights on or anything, and I was off doing the catering, and he knew I was coming back. So he heads back to the walk-in and comes out of the walk-in, and he looks and he sees a woman, and she looks at him over her shoulder and picks up her long skirt, and that's when his hand hit the light switch. So she was gone as soon as he turned the light on.
So she was like a full-fledged apparition.
Yeah, and Luke does not believe in any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So he was like, I've been here 16 years. I just saw her.
Yeah.
Why'd she show herself to me?
Yeah.
And I was like, how cool. And then got my goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a paradigm shifting moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think he believes now.
Wow. So this place has turned skeptics into believers then.
Oh, yeah.
During the Halloween season, Joe and his staff typically hold haunted ghost dinners at the restaurant. Traditionally in attendance is their resident paranormal team, Parasense. They've been capturing evidence at Amber Rose for 8 years, so we invited them to share some of their experiences with us in preparation for our investigation.
We make a good team because she sees them, she hears them, and I feel them. Eventually, once we started getting here, we realized we needed a name and to put ourselves out there, and that's how Parasense came about.
So we came in expecting to knock heads with Chicky. Bowled over by the sheer volume of responses from other entities. It's like the restaurant took pictures of things and then broadcast them back to us, which is fantastic, but then there's a whole cast of characters that respond to direct questions.
The young lady upstairs is presenting herself more and more, the little girl. We call her Ruby.
We don't know her name though.
We think we heard Ruby once, but the last time when we investigated here, actually captured her and heard her visibly laughing and then singing to us.
That's always the hardest part of investigating, is to have a little one and know that you can't do anything to change that.
What we found is that there is a difference between digital media and magnetic media and how they both capture evidence. The magnetic tape will capture sounds way below the human audio spectrum, way below 20,000 hertz. And then the digital media is way up here, like amazingly high. So we use both methods in order to cast a broader net, and we wind up getting a lot more responses, a lot more captures that way.
We had a lot of success with the SLS before the tornadoes came. Before the tornadoes came, we could sit right over there and we would get something. But since the tornadoes, I'm just not getting anything.
There was a shift.
I'm not getting anything on the SLS anymore like I used to. And I have no explanation for that.
This has probably been the most amount of pictures that we've ever gotten. Photographs here.
Evidence here.
Almost every time we come to visit, we've gotten something.
It's extraordinary.
While we were in the building for daytime production, we took an interesting photo of our own. There appears to be a ghostly woman in the mirror downstairs. This is the first time we've captured something like this.
And then, of course, her boyfriend in the basement.
He is overbearing, he is rude, and females are not welcome in his area. We have a theory, based on what we know from when this place was a general store. The gentlemen would gather down there to do, it's a version of bowling, like bocce, right?
Right, but more
like skee ball.
Right.
So guys would gather down there and drink and gamble and play this bowling game. And from what I can understand, chicks were persona non grata. So when you go down there, you're faced with not welcome, turn around, go the other way.
I've had to come back up because I've gotten down there and gotten sick to my stomach and had to come back up here to make that go away.
We called him Robert. At first we thought we had gotten an EVP that said his name was Robert. Mm-hmm. And there could be another one down there named Robert. But this one flat out, when we said, okay, Robert, we're going to be done. And he's like, no, I'm Hamilton. Ooh, okay. And like a really stern and like, no, you will now, tell me by my name. The reason that we work together and we love doing this is because we want to bring notice to places that have this uniqueness to it. The characters that live here and reside here, as well as the characters that work here. You go to places where you feel happy. And that was something that Sid worked really hard and Chicky worked really hard to create here. And I think that's why we have such a mecca of a revolving door of people, spirits being here and wanting to be heard and wanting to be seen.
Well, the place is so familiar. You interviewed the staff earlier. Look how many of them have been here for decades.
And it was
any
Eleanor's.
Spirit that comes through here sees that same person for 20 years. This is the place I want to be, because they know me here now, and I know them. Mm-hmm. So it's comfortable.
Because of the young girl that is here, she indicated to us that she liked toys, she liked dolls, and old tin toys. So what we have brought are trigger objects that hopefully we can get an interaction between us and Chicky, or maybe any other children that are here. That way we can make a connection so that they will be enticed to speak with us. We have a teddy bear, and the teddy bear actually opens up. We can actually put our REM pod inside of the teddy bear, which allows it to act and pick up on the electromagnetic frequencies and waves that are coming near it, which to us would indicate that there is a presence there. We also decided to use a device that picks up vibration and movement. We can put this on here and actually arm it so we're not touching it and getting false positives when it's going off, but we can arm it, and if it does go off, that indicates that the bear was moved or picked up.
As the darkness of the night sky falls upon Dayton, the rose of the Gem City takes on a new life.
Our guest investigator for the night is Craig Curry. Now, I understand that you've been studying the paranormal for a while. How long has that been?
Pretty much like off and on my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, it's just always been a fascination for me, so.
Well, that's awesome. Hopefully we'll get some really good evidence for you tonight.
I hope so. I'm excited, so.
Yeah, let's see what we can do.
We've set up 8 stationary cameras around the building in places that we believe are hotspots. including one in the basement, one in the front stairwell where we've placed a ball, one in the banquet room where we've stationed our REM pod teddy bear experiment, and one at the bottom entrance of the attic where we've set up the old toys for Chicky. We only set up a temporary camera in the kitchen due to the emergency lighting and running coolers. Do note that the date and time on our stationary cameras is incorrect. You'll notice the correct date and time on our full spectrum chest camera. As we are getting ready for our investigation, camera 1 picks up unexplained noises down in the basement. We start things off with an EVP session in the basement. If you can speak into this red dot here.
Wow, yes.
Okay. Keep going. As we move to the back of the basement, we capture what we believe to be our first EVP of the night. So why don't you like women down here? We believe it may be saying, girl, what do you think? So why don't you like women down here? People have felt very uncomfortable in this room. Why is that?
Make a loud noise. Loudest noise you can make. I don't know why, but I'm trapped into this back. What is this door? What is this door that you know?
I think that leads to that stairwell exit upstairs. A stairwell down. And I know your dad was saying that, Steve was saying that he had a dream about that stairwell.
He did?
Yeah. He said it was like when he was up there, we were setting the cameras up, he said he was getting a real bad deja vu and that he dreamed about that stairwell.
I'm sending Steve out. He's going to do a spirit box session to try to establish a direct line of communication.
I want to go upstairs and I want to talk with Chicky.
They then move 2 floors up.
Help? Jenny, is that you? Help? Okay. Can you give me a name? So I got some other names. Carol, I think Sid, and Kevin. Can you give me a name? First of all, can I speak with the girl? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see me?
Due to the strong language used in this response, we had to censor it. The uncensored version may be available on other platforms.
Okay, somebody's touching my hair.
My legs are like shaking.
Really?
Yeah, like I feel weak to stand on them for some reason.
Notice this potential orb fly out of Steve, just as he feels something touching his hair.
Who's touching my hair? How many are here?
What could the spirit possibly feel guilty about?
Okay, I'm gonna walk down here. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that I should. So. What? Why do I want to go down here?
Hey, before you go down, Sage was drawn to that door downstairs as well. Because there's a door in the kitchen that leads to that stairwell.
It just said don't.
Hey, before you go down, Sage was drawn to that door downstairs as well. Because there's a door in the kitchen that leads to that stairwell.
It just said don't.
What's down there?
My heart's beating real fast. I'm like,
I'm feeling pretty uneasy myself.
I'm feeling goosebumps on my arm.
okay, so we're going to go back upstairs, okay? We're going to go back up here.
We are unsure what the story is with this back stairwell, but it seems to have some sort of connection with Steve.
Okay, so right up there's the attic. There's some toys.
Keep in mind, the doll on the floor has a yellow dress. Could this be a spirit asking another if they like the yellow one?
Do you know that you died? The reason why I'm asking you this is because I keep hearing the word dead. Dead. Yes, I keep hearing the word dead. Dead. It's what? Yeah, there's a ball right there.
At this point, Richard gives Devin a green light to clip to Craig so that he can see where he's walking.
What color is that light on his pants?
Did you say green?
I think it said green.
I think she said green.
What's your favorite color? Yellow.
Did it say yellow? Yeah. The exit sign, what's that color? Red! Yes, thank you. Red!
Holy
Yes, thank you.
that's crazy.
Alright. Red!
It seems that we may have been communicating with a playful spirit. We then decide to move on from the spirit box. I'm going to go out and I'm going to take full spectrum still pictures, and Craig is going to use the millimeter and see if we can capture any evidence.
0.8, 1.2, 0.6, 5.2, 2.3.
Notice that Craig is standing outside of the kitchen doors, plenty of distance from any equipment.
4.2, 6.0, 6.1, 3.0,
Right in front of these doors.
2.8, 2.6, 2.2, 1.9, 1.7,
Watch your step.
1.8, 0.4, 9.7, 0.0.
Once again, Craig is not close enough to any equipment for there to be spikes this high. After capturing nothing out of the ordinary on our full spectrum still camera, we decide to try something different. We also relocate our REM pod teddy bear experiment to the chafing dish room.
Thomas and myself are going to go out and do an Ovilus session to see what we can get. And it's already said
It's already said fire and basement.
The fall of '89, and they had a fire. in the attic, in the back of the building.
We head straight to the basement.
Present and puddle. Is someone Europe?
Europe.
Are you from Europe originally? Some of you are. Club. I got club.
Oh, there was a club down here, wasn't there?
You had a club down here, right? Where you played games? Maybe drank beer? Hung out? Men only? Is that right? It just said lady noise.
Lady noise.
Alright, what lady making the noise? We're gonna come up there. Stream. Robert set. So there's a Robert up here.
We thought we had gotten an EVP that said his name was Robert.
Mm-hmm.
And there could be another one down there named Robert.
Window.
Window.
Which window? Ooh, I just got a really big cold
I
chill.
saw something out the window too, but I didn't mention it 'cause I thought it was a car.
Dude, I'm fully chilled my entire body right now, my face even.
Who's in this room here with us right now? Can you say your name or
touch that bear?
Touch that bear, or can you use this device here? You can speak into this device. It'll say a word for you. If you think about that word, it'll say it. Can you just maybe give us a hobby or a color or something to know unique that just wouldn't randomly pop up? Yellow.
Yellow. That we got that.
Hey,
got that.
so you said that earlier. Before time. And it said yank as well. Did you yank that trash can? But back to the color. So your favorite color is yellow. That's not my favorite color, but
it's a good one.
I respect it, and yeah, it is a good color. There are some very pretty yellows.
What's your favorite color, Thomas?
My favorite color is blue.
If you
mop. Do they need a mop in here? Okay. Well, we will tell them that they need to mop. If that's what you're asking about. Especially.
This is the third time that we've received the word yellow on our devices tonight. It's also interesting that the rose on the restaurant sign is yellow.
Violent. Crash. Creek.
That's weird.
Did you
crash into a
creek? Are you telling me
creek?
how you died?
She died in an automobile accident.
Child. So there's a child up here.
Something's touching my right arm.
Are you wanting to play? Is that why you keep touching sage? Pray.
After concluding our productive Ovula session, the emergency floodlight by the downstairs bar suddenly comes on.
Why that light just come on?
What?
That one right here.
After speaking with the owner, Joe, there is no reason that the floodlight should come on unless the whole building loses power. Even if that was the case, all of the emergency lights would come on, not just one. At this point in the night, we try several different things, but don't seem to capture anything strange. Steve also moves the ball into the banquet room. We decide to send Steve down to the basement by himself with the SB11 and the full spectrum chest camera. We also want to try something a little different with the SB11, connecting only one speaker and running it on a single channel, similar to the regular Spirit Box.
Alright, anybody want to talk to me down here? Hi. Hi.
Who are you? What?
Could this be referencing a score from a game once played down in the basement?
Who else came down here?
We believe that it could be saying manchette, which means apron in Dutch. After all, this area was home to many European immigrants.
Genevieve, Chicky, showed me a meadow and a tree line and a creek. Why is that so important? Is it like your heaven? Okay, I just got cold chills. Big time. What did you sell here in your store? He had an issue with bags of flour.
Steve then heads up to the second story.
Oh, I just got the chills. Okay. It was you? Okay. It was you? Come on, tell me your name. Tell me your name.
We send up Devin and Craig to add something brand new to the mix.
Craig's going to come up and hold the spirit box, and we're going to try to get you guys to talk to us, okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
They take with them a new device that was created by our very own technician, Richard Salisbury.
So we're trying something we haven't tried before in this investigation. So we are using a Tesla coil. We are calling it an energy ionization device. Now with this device, what it does is it produces an electrical current, and that current is so strong that it actually has a chemical reaction and breaks up the bonds between nitrogen and oxygen in the air. What this means is that this can create new bonds. It ionizes and deionizes those atoms. And there's a theory that ghosts and souls are actually on a different dimensional plane. With subatomic particles, it has been discovered in quantum mechanics that some can actually pass through multiple planes, which may allow spirits or ghosts to pass into our dimension or allow us a portal to pass into theirs.
You can tell how much the device affects the energy in the room just by watching what it does to the stationary camera.
You like playing with that?
Watch what it does.
Here, I'm gonna touch it too.
Does that sound like somebody said yeah?
What's that?
Sounded like somebody said yeah, like a girl said yeah. Sounded like somebody said yeah, like a girl said yeah.
What was that? Do you want us to go in this room?
We are unable to identify what this spirit is saying. What do you think?
Did you say mother?
To wrap up this spirit box session, we send Craig down to the basement. Craig begins asking the spirits what Studio B means, as written on the basement wall. As Devin is fixing one of the cameras, we get another response.
Back here in the basketball room, it says Studio B. What does that mean? Can you tell me what Studio B is? What is it? What was that? What is it? What was that?
Okay,
Do what?
What
was that?
That said Ronald.
What?
I heard Ronald for sure.
Ronald? Did someone say Ronald? Was that your name?
Ronald.
Alright, you guys are giving me the chills. Who's giving me the chills? You guys want me down here? Am I still allowed to be down here? Notice right when Craig gets the chills, this small orb appears behind him, and he even looks towards it.
Who is he?
But who is that?
Who is he?
We then move the toys into the banquet room and set up the 3D camera to try to play with Chicky. While setting things up, Richard has an unusual experience downstairs.
Ooh, I just got water all over my leg.
Really?
It felt like water just splashed on my leg. But I don't feel water.
That's weird. So I wonder if it's cold.
I don't know, that was weird.
That is really weird.
After no luck with the 3D camera, we decide to do one last EVP session upstairs.
Did you say that you like to play up in the attic?
I bet it looks a lot different now, huh?
If you listen to the digital recorder audio, you can hear what we believe to be a child's voice faintly responding to me from up in the attic.
Did you say that you like to play up in the attic? Chicky, I know that a lot of people talk to you in here, and I feel like I haven't got the chance to talk to you much. Is there anything that you would like to say to me before I go? Because I'm about to be leaving. Can you say goodbye? Goodbye, Chicky.
As the sun rises in the gym city, our time here comes to an end. Voices from a time long past call out from beyond.
Help?
An eager spirit with an ominous message.
Violent crash. Creak.
A playful child in search of a friend.
Red!
A mysteriously chilling presence.
Alright, you guys are giving me the chills. Who's giving me the chills?
The solidarity of a diverse immigrant community bridges the gap between the living and the dead.
She wants me to play hide and go seek.
Reaffirming the legend of the Amber Rose restaurant.
Did I take your picture? Would that be okay? Okay, I'm gonna get down low. And I just want you to stand next to the teddy bear. Can you do that for me? Okay, I'm gonna count down for 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
For the latest news on Midnight's Light Paranormal, like us on our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. All of these links can be accessed under the About tab on our YouTube channel.